Charlie Demarco rose from her seat slowly for the cross-exam. Glossy black hair knotted tightly in a bun low on the back of her neck. Tall and slim, in a long beige suit jacket that covered her rear end and a skirt that covered the backs of her knees, she rounded the table corner and approached the witness stand on thin-heeled black pumps. Something about the way she moves. Sinuous, graceful, like a dancer. Officer Lucas, you testified that an informant alerted you and your partner to the narcotics shipment confiscated from the Industrial Park warehouse on January 12th this year. Did that informant also provide information implicating the defendant, Dominic Tonelli, prior to January 12th? Her melodic voice sounded familiar. Yes, Lucas replied. Word on the street. Word on the street. She rolled each syllable off her tongue in exaggerated enunciation, her flat tone implying that the statement was ridiculous. Was the defendant present at the time of the raid? No, only 2 of his mules. Your department has not established any association between the defendant and his so-called mules during testimony at either of their trials or via any other evidence. Isn't that correct, Sergeant? Charlie leaned forward, a not-so-subtle stance meant to intimidate. They wouldn't finger him. Lucas stared at her, unblinking. But he owns the building. He pointed at Tonelli. C.J. DeMarco turned her back on Lucas and strolled briskly, high heels clicking, to the defense table. Purple-blue eyes gleamed, and her chin slightly jutted upward, with a trace of confidence or conceit. A smile stretched on her closed lips, imparting an air of self-satisfaction. She's sure a poised performer. Patrick sucked in a breath. The woman who had inspired serious consideration about hanging around backstage at the Graveyard Review in the near future extended a delicate hand down to finger paper spread on the defense table. Prim hair instead of those wild blue-black curls, and practically shapeless in that suit, there was still no mistaking her. A couple of interesting starring roles in Patrick's dreams later, the Bride of Frankenstein now appeared ready to take his sergeant apart. Why the hell would one of the highest-priced defense attorneys in the city moonlight as an amusement park singer? But it has to be her. Dangling a sheet of paper in her right hand, Charlie strode halfway back to the witness stand. You ascertained that Mr. Tonelli owns the warehouse in question. Is that correct, Sergeant? She stood, seemingly relaxed, with her arms at her sides. The owner of records is Tuscan Imports, Lucas maintained bluntly, and Dominic Tonelli is the registered owner of that business. He is indeed the owner of Tuscan Imports. Charlie twisted her neck, facing the jury, her profile eye-catching. To your knowledge, have any illegal activities or allegations been associated with Tuscan Imports or Mr. Tonelli personally before January 12th of this year? To my knowledge, he's as crooked as a drunk walking the line on New Year's Eve. Oh, shit. Move to strike. Charlie faced the judge squarely. Strike that response. The judge addressed Lucas. Sergeant, a simple yes or no. Stiff-shouldered, Lucas glared in Charlie's direction. No. For clarity, I'd like you to confirm the events preceding the raid one more time. Charlie raised her right hand holding the paper, glanced at it, and then let it dangle at her side again. Based on an informant's tip, you moved to intercept a narcotics shipment bound for 3 West 4336 Industrial Boulevard on the night of January the 12th. When you arrived at the location, were there any signs of illegal activity outside the building? Lucas's shoulder eased down an inch. No, an empty cargo truck was parked on a back loading bay. My team surrounded the building and then entered from multiple locations. You obtained a signed warrant to search and seize the contents of the building? Lucas squinted. Yes, woke the judge up in the middle of the night. Charlie approached the stand, paper outstretched toward Lucas. "Please inspect this document carefully, Sergeant. Is this the search warrant you obtained?"